Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Feels really weird filming again. I haven't filmed on my own for over a month, I would say, and I haven't posted in like 2 weeks, so this feels really strange. First of all, I want to apologise for the delay in videos. I've had a lot of things that I'm dealing with in life and I can't even explain half of it, but I'm going to explain one of those things to you today. I wasn't going to make a video on it, but the reason I feel like making a video on it is because I was up last night on Twitter and I was seeing some comments and some tweets about Ariana Grande coming out, or more like saying that she didn't need to label herself or her sexuality because she came out with the song Monopoly. And if you don't know, in the song she sings a line that says, "I like women and men." Now her friend is openly bisexual. I think her name's Victoria Monette. When I first heard the song, first of all, wasn't a huge fan of it actually. I didn't really like it. I thought it was a bit over auto-tuned. I wasn't a big fan, but after a few listens it's now one of my favourite songs and I can't stop listening to it. And the reason I feel like talking about this today is because some of the biphobic comments that I've been seeing and the bi erasure has really hit me deep, and I wasn't going to make a video coming out or anything like that ever on my channel because it just feels wrong to me. And in fact, when I told one of my siblings, they were very, "Oh, I bet you'll have a YouTube video up about this," rolls eyes, as if I was only doing it for the clout or the views, even though I have such a small channel that this will probably get like 100 views tops, like woo, racking in that money. And I feel like I owe an explanation to you guys, for people who have been following my channel from the beginning especially, as to why I was lying about it for so long. I mean, people shouldn't really need an explanation for anything, and I do kind of believe in not labelling yourself, which is why I found it so difficult to come out and say it in the first place. And also I had a lot of confusion early on, and I think deep down I've known it since I was a child, but I just kind of pushed it away and thought, if I like both boys and girls, I can just choose to like just guys. And so when I was saying in videos, I like guys and I'm demisexual and that's why I don't have a boyfriend, that's still very true. I am very much demisexual. I still can only connect to someone when I've known them for a long time. I still like guys very, very much, despite what some people have said to me, some horrible things that really did hit me, and I was like, I mean, I had to prepare myself for these kind of things before telling people, and I knew that not everybody would be fully accepting, but sometimes it shocks you, the people that are close to you that won't accept you. So do I start with my story or Ariana's? So basically Ariana, she comes out with Monopoly, she's singing "I like women and men." I didn't think much of it, to be honest. I just thought, oh, she's singing the line because her openly bi friend is bi and that's the chorus, so of course Ariana's gonna sing it. I didn't even think it was like a coming out thing. I just thought, okay, cool. I liked the lyric, I thought it was catchy, I didn't think anything of it. Till I went to Twitter and, oh damn. I mean, I've always known that the LGBT community has always been a little bit biphobic in some ways, which is why I've always been afraid of saying anything, because I have always seen biphobia around me my whole life. I think I did a live stream once on my YouTube channel where my sister made a joke that was biphobic, saying that bisexuals weren't real and stuff, and I got mad. And she used to do that to piss me off because she knew it was something that just annoyed me deeply. And at the time I was telling people that I was just a straight ally. I was just accepting, and I kind of still wish that I was that. I mean, I've always been bi. It's not like one day I woke up and suddenly that's what I was, but as part of me just kind of wanted to be a straight ally completely and utterly and prove people wrong, that just because you are very supportive of other people's rights with their sexuality doesn't mean that you are bi or gay yourself. So, and this is a point my sister pointed out, Jessica was like, "You've kind of ruined it for me though, like the whole thing of someone that's straight being that passionate about LGBT rights." And I was like, yeah, I know, that's one of the things that stopped me from saying anything in the first place, because it's kind of disappointing. But I guess it makes a lot of sense to me now as to why I've always been so passionate about it, why I go to Pride every year, and I feel it feels like my people. And that was something I was denying to myself for the longest time. I just thought, oh, I'm just chill with them because gays are cool. I'd always like checked out girls and stuff, and I remember there was one time when I worked at Primark, I was checking out someone, a girl, and another person that I was working with caught me, and we had this awkward look, and it was before I'd kind of admitted it to myself. And it's just small moments like that that I keep remembering lately, and I'm like, I've always known it. Like when I was a child, I was very obsessed with Emma Watson. I always thought it was just high admiration, but there are certain memories I have where I'm like, that was definitely a crush. And I remember going through teenagehood thinking that, this is probably too much information, but thinking that I was probably just over hormonal and just everything just everything turned me on, because I'd never heard of bisexuality before. It wasn't really a thing when I was younger, it was never really discussed, and I don't know if anybody else feels like that if you were born in the 90s. Like, I feel like I never really heard of bisexuality until later into my teens. When I did start hearing about it, I'd be hearing people like my mum making comments like, oh, they're greedy, they need to choose a side, it's not real, they're just gay. Very biphobic comments. And so being raised around those kind of comments when I eventually did hear about bisexuality and realising that that was me, I was just like, okay, I never have to tell anyone, because if I like men I can just choose men. Like, it's not hard. As I started to surround myself with openly gay friends, for some reason I just attract gay friends, I just really do. Like, majority of my friends are bi or gay, like, and they always have been, and I don't know why, I just attract them. But I've always been so accepting with friends who have come out to me and stuff, and so supportive. It's the reason I started going to Pride in the first place. And I don't know, I guess I was scared that if I came out, people would think that I was trying to jump on a trend or trying to be like my friends, when actually I was straight, which I've actually had people comment to me since I started telling people 2 weeks ago. I prepared myself for beforehand because I'm not in the best place mentally anyway right now, so I really had to prepare myself and be like, look, if you're going to start telling people, you have to realise that these comments are going to come no matter what. And I've handled it really well considering the state of mind I'm in at the moment. I've really handled coming out quite well and having these horrible comments thrown at me. Like, I had someone the other day, someone really close to me, say to me that when I talk about guys it sounds fake, and it always has, and that's why they knew that I was bi. But I was like, but you know, bi means I'm into both. And so I've had a lot of people either being in denial saying, I knew you were gay all along, like, where do you think the gay jokes came from? Or being like, you're straight, stop trying to be like your friends, which, hearing those comments, especially from people very close to you, it hurts. Even if it is a joke and just banter, it does hurt. And that's been a lot of anger that I've been trying to get over, because it does make me angry that my whole life I've been dealing with gay jokes from my family, and then the second I come out as bi, it's like denial, and you're just doing this to be cool, and oh, you've ruined our gay jokes. When I read Ariana's comments and fans saying, oh, she's just using the gay community for clout, and oh, she's just doing this because she got flack for being heterosexual at the gay pride Manchester thing that she did. First of all, can I just say, what's wrong with a straight person being a strong ally for the community? What is wrong with her being straight, performing for them and giving to the cause? I don't understand that at all. I think if you're going to be accepting of all sexualities, you have to also be accepting of people that are straight, and that's always been something that has annoyed me as well. Seeing people being like, oh, they're straight so they can't support the community and all this, and oh, they're just trying to get clout. It's like, why can straight people just not openly support you which is why I was always so openly vocal in my videos about supporting the community and stuff. And I remember I had one comment on one of my videos. I was suffering from high anxiety one day, and I get a bit stuttery sometimes on camera when I'm having really low times in my life, and I was struggling to say LGBT. For some reason it was hard for me that day. I was just struggling with talking to a camera, and I had a comment that was like, "She's trying, guys, she's trying to be one of us," or something like this. And I remember feeling really hurt by that comment, because at the time I'd just recently admitted it to myself in my head that I was bi. I hadn't yet said it out loud to myself, because I knew that was something I had to do. I couldn't keep saying it in my head. And I would always get comments like that on my videos. Or there was one where I was talking about people being obsessed with my sexuality. In that video I am very confusing. I feel like in that video I gave a lot of hints that I was bi and that I didn't need a label, and in it I say things like sexuality is fluid and people don't need labels and stuff like that, which I still do believe. And I confused a lot of people with that video because I was so adamantly saying that I was straight, but I was also saying all these things that were hinting that I was not. So I was very afraid to come out as bi, because in a lot of ways I do wish that I was just gay, because if I was just gay it would kind of be slightly easier, because you don't have this whole thing of, oh, just choose a side, and being rejected from a community that's supposed to accept you. It's like you can't be fully accepted by the straights and you can't be fully accepted by the gays. So I've always been terrified of telling people, because I don't want to come across as being fake bi or trying to get clout or views. And so when I see these comments about Ariana, it really resonates with me, because I've had these kind of comments myself, and it can hurt, especially when you've built up the courage to finally talk about it. And the fact that she hasn't even openly said that she's bi, if she ever does, she hasn't reached that place of acceptance yet, and she's getting these comments, that's gotta hurt. So I feel sorry for Ariana. I know she portrays herself as being very typical straight, like the way she presents herself, she fake tan, she has nice nails, she does her hair nice, she's very... I guess nothing about her really screams I'm bi, I suppose, which is probably why people are having a hard time accepting, because whether they like it or not, they have stereotypes that they place on people. Like, the whole concept of a gaydar is based on stereotypes and things like that. For some people it's not, but majority of the time it is, and I've always had a good gaydar. I've always said this to my friends, I have a great gaydar, and I would say, oh, for a straight person I have a great gaydar, huh? Knowing secretly I was bi, but how do you think I would know things? Because I'd be judging people based on stereotypes. And I think that's why people are having a hard time with Ariana, because she presents herself a certain way, and I've been thinking about that lately, like, once I put this video out, are people going to start judging the way that I'm dressing and stuff, start watching me? And also the fact that I've never actually been with a woman. I've never actually been with a man either. I've slept with men and dated men, and I've had more crushes on men for sure, and I would say that I am more into men. However, recently, the more I allow myself to explore the other side of myself, I would say I'm probably equal. Some days I feel equal, some days I'm like, am I just gay? Sometimes I'm like, am I just straight? So sexuality is fluid. It changes depending on my circumstances at the time. I went through something a little while ago that I can't talk about, which has kind of put me off of men for a little while. So obviously right now I'm more into women, but it also makes me scared because I've had major crushes on guys that I would want a chance with, and if I made a video like this and suddenly they were put off of me or over-sexualised me, or they just assumed that I was just purely gay, it would break my heart if someone that I fancied as a guy suddenly didn't like me because I was bi. But I guess I've come to the conclusion that anyone that would react that way isn't worth my time anyway. So this is kind of my coming out video. It's much easier for me to do than I thought it would be, just because it's taken 24 years for me to say it out loud to anybody. I've always known it. if I'm honest with myself. I've had moments of confusion, like maybe I'm just asexual, maybe I'm just this, maybe I'm just that, and when I found the label of demisexual, it fit me perfectly. But I still knew that I was heavily into men and women, and people commenting like, oh, how do you know you're into women because you haven't slept with one yet? How do you know you're into men before you sleep with a man when you're a virgin? Just think about that. I'm not going to go into explicit details telling you how I know I like women. Trust me, I do. Trust me. For a while I was very in denial, but I was like, if anybody was watching me right now, they knew the things going on in my head, they knew what I was into, they'd be like, bitch, why are you telling yourself you don't like women? Like, that is not straight behaviour. Also, I just want to start exploring this side of myself, because I am lonely and I'd like to start dating, and dating men has never worked out for me because I have a lot of issues with men. Don't we all? I'm not saying all men are horrible, but my whole life I've had issues with them, and I think that's why I can't go further than just sleeping with a guy, because I just... most men are a certain type of way, and I feel like they're only after one thing, and that's something I'm trying to work on as well, is getting past that so that I can actually have a boyfriend one day. But right now I'm open to trying the other side of myself and seeing how things go. Who knows? Who knows, maybe I'll try it and realise that I'm not even bi, but I highly doubt that. Highly. Very highly doubt that. I thought I would say it to people and feel like some kind of imposter syndrome, like, why are you coming out as something you're not? But I don't feel that at all. I feel so me. And when I think about the fact that I'm going to be free to be myself, I feel so light and happy. And since I've started telling people, I've had less issues with self-harm and things like this, so it was one of my main issues in life. I think it's why I've had so many problems with depression my entire life. It's not the only reason that I have so many issues to get through, but I have a list of things I want to go through and start working on about myself and getting better so that I can be happy again. And I think ignoring it for a while worked for me, but after a while you can't keep denying yourself a part of yourself, and I just want to explore it because it just... I hated having this secret that everybody secretly knew. Like, everyone I've come out to has been like, girl, we all knew. It's so obvious, but... And while I knew that, it was still terrifying for me to come out, even though I was so openly like, oh... I was always so open about coming out and stuff and being like, you shouldn't be afraid, la la la. And yet I was being the biggest hypocrite ever, and I can't even explain it. I just had a lot of fears and anxiety about it that have come true, and I'm okay with it. I'm just angry because seeing comments about Ariana and stuff like that, it resonated with me, and I don't know what it is at the moment, but my whole Twitter timeline is about bisexuality at the moment, and I'm like, what's going on? Is this a sign from God? Like, it's like aligned with my life? Because I came out before she even released Monopoly, so I was terrified that when people would hear her song and hear the rumours of Ariana being bi, that they'd think I was just doing it because I'm a fan of hers, because everyone knows I love Ariana. I'm obsessed with her, which should have been a hint as well. I am obsessed with her, and I was scared that people would see the fact that she was coming out as bi, even though she literally wasn't. She said she didn't have to label herself, and they'd think, oh, Rebecca's just doing this because she wants to be like Ariana. And that was a fear of mine too, but you can even look at my tweets from a couple of weeks ago. I was hinting at it long before Monopoly even came out. So that's a fear of mine too. No one's actually said that one out loud to me, but I'm sure I'll get that now. But yeah, I just thought I'd be open with you guys. I wasn't going to make a coming out video because I had such a nasty comment about it. Like, oh, we'll see a YouTube video about this, and rolling the eyes, and I was like, oh, you're making me feel like I'm not actually bi and I'm using something for my YouTube channel, which isn't true at all. The whole reason I haven't been posting in so long is because I've been terrified to talk about it, because I was torn between, do I tell people or do I not? Because I've always been very LGBT friendly on this channel, and so it wouldn't really make sense for me to not come out on this channel when I've confused so many people with my videos. So yeah, that's it. I'm bi. It doesn't even feel weird to say, which is strange to me. It just feels so right. And if this is what I identify as, this is what I identify as. And I hope no one unsupports me for this. If you do, good riddance, to be honest. I've been going through so much lately, so I'm sorry if I don't post very often. I'm going to try and start posting again. I think this is a reason I've been feeling so low as well, because I've lost interest in hobbies and things, which is very common with depression and stuff. And it made me really sad when I realised that I had stopped checking my YouTube every day and I had stopped thinking of ideas and getting excited about filming. And when I'd miss a Sunday upload, I'd be like, don't care. Which made me sad, because this has always been something that has been there for me even in the worst times. So I want to start posting again. The message of this video is just be accepting of people. If someone tells you they are something, just believe them. Even if it does turn out for some weird, bizarre reason that they're using it for clout or whatever, at least you were a supportive, open-minded person and tried to accept your friend. So just be open-minded. It's 2019. I don't understand why these ideas are still out there. It's crazy to me. And one of the things that confused me a lot in the early days when I was discovering it was, I'd be like, but everyone's so open these days and so LGBT friendly, why are you this scared to come out? Like, at this point coming out shouldn't even be a thing, and I do believe that coming out shouldn't be a thing. But it kind of has to be, I've realised, and the fact that it still has to be in 2019 is sad. So I just be open-minded. If someone tells you something like this about themselves, and even if you think, that doesn't sound right, that doesn't sound like them, for whatever reason, and you're disbelieving, just be supportive. They could have plucked up so much courage to tell you this thing about themselves, and you should be honoured that they've opened up to you in this way. It took a lot for me. I honestly thought I was going to die with this secret. I never thought I was going to say this out loud, but I'm happy that I've chosen to do it, because hopefully I can just be me from now on. It was starting to really get to me, and the more I let myself explore it, the more I just wanted to openly say it, and I feel so free now. And I'm nervous about this video because I know people I know are going to see it and be like, ha, knew it, I used to get bullied at school, called a lesbian and things, and I think all of these things piled up and made it hard for me to admit. The reason I don't have a boyfriend is not because I'm gay, it's because I have issues that I don't owe you an explanation for. So I am into both men and women, believe me. So the fact that anyone would tell me that I come across as fake talking about men is laughable to me, because if you knew, you would know I am very into them. So unless you want explicit detail as to how I know I'm into men, don't make comments like that. Like, I don't understand why you would even need clarification on someone else's sexuality. The whole concept of that is crazy to me. Leave Ariana alone. If she wants to come out, she will come out. I highly doubt she will now, considering the reaction she's had. Very nasty. I feel sorry for her so bad. She might just be confused and not knowing, or she might be afraid to say, I am just straight, but now you guys have spun this in a way that it didn't need to be. So I think it's sad that straight people can't just be straight allies, and I think it's also sad that people who are in the stages of still questioning or not knowing or just believing that sexuality is fluid and they don't need a label can't even say things like that without people trying to force some kind of label on them. So that's sad to me. So yeah, leave Ariana alone. I hope that you support me. Yeah, I thought this video was going to be like emotional or something, but it's fine. If you want more videos about this, or how I knew, or little hints that I was hiding from other people or whatever, let me know in the comments down below. I'm not sure I'll be making too many videos on it because I don't want it to define me. I don't want it to be just what I am. You see a lot of people coming out and it becomes who they are, and I don't want that to happen to me. You can like, you can comment, and you can subscribe. I make new videos every week. Or at least I try to. Yeah. See you. Goodbye.